Very good morning. This is Amit Singh, lecturer in Commerce, Pragati Mahavidyalaya Degree College. As you students are aware, this semester we are conducting classes online, and for the students of BCom third year, fifth semester, the subject which I am going to teach is Introduction to Indian Economy. This paper is of 50 marks, 40 marks for the external theory examination plus 10 marks for the internal examination conducted at the college. So 40 plus 10 makes up the 50 marks paper. As the subject is for 50 marks, it only has two units. Unit number 1, structure of Indian economy. Unit number 2, policy aspects of Indian economy. Before we get into the subject and understand what is the part of the subject in unit number 1 and 2, we would first understand a brief overview about Indian economy. Find out what are the specialities of Indian economy. The most important and the first point is Indian economy is a mixed economy. When we talk about a mixed economy is an economy where public sector and private sector coexist together. Therefore, in India, there is public sector managed and controlled by the government, and there is also private sector where the private entrepreneurs play their role in the Indian economy. Now, Indian economy is a developing economy. Now, why do we call it a developing economy is neither are we underdeveloped nor have we become developed. Therefore, our economy is in a state where we are in between the underdeveloped and developed category. Therefore, we are calling it as a developing state. Therefore, Indian economy is a developing economy. An Indian economy can be divided into two periods. The first period can be called as pre-liberalization period, which was from 1947 to 1990. Now, we call it a pre-liberalization period because in 1991, as you people are aware, the government of India introduced the industrial policy of 1991. We also call it as LPG policy. Now, before the LPG policy was introduced in 91, Indian economy was an economy where we protected our industries and the other sectors from the foreign competition. Therefore, we were an economy which was a protectionist kind of economy where we did not give any scope for competition. But after 1991, after the LPG policy was introduced, competition started playing an important role because we opened our economy for the world economy. Therefore, post-liberalization period started from 1991. So we can divide the economy into two parts. One, the pre-liberalization. Two, the post-liberalization period in which we are at present in. Apart from this, the notable point and important point which we are supposed to note is India is the fifth largest economy in the world in terms of nominal GDP. And when we talk about GDP, pre-liberalization period, our GDP growth rate was comparatively less when you compare it with post-liberalization period. Post-liberalization period, especially in the last 10 years, our GDP growth rate was from 7% to 10%, which was one of the fastest growing economy in the world. So, in terms of GDP, at present, we are the fifth largest economy in the world. But we also should take into account the present scenario and the impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy. As I just now mentioned that in the last 10 years, we were growing at 7 to 10% per annum, but in the first half of this year, that is in the year 2020-2021, the GDP came down to minus 23%. So from plus 7 to 10%, we have come down to minus 23%, and the most important factor responsible for that is COVID-19. But I feel, and the economists feel, and the people of this country should be rest assured that Indian economy, the basics are strong, and we need very less time to bounce back onto the track of positive growth in terms of GDP. So this is a brief overview about Indian economy. Now let us get into the subject part of it. Unit 1. Unit 1 is structure of Indian economy. Now when you talk about structure of Indian economy, in this particular unit, we will study a number of topics starting from the characteristics of Indian economy to what all makes up the Indian economy. The first topic in this particular unit is characteristics of Indian economy. When you talk about characteristics of Indian economy, there are certain features which make us different from other economies of the world. So we would just go through what are those points. First one is low per capita income. Indian economy, even though we are one of the largest economies in the world, the per capita income of our people in this country is comparatively low. And when you talk about per capita income, it is income per head. Therefore, per capita income being low indicates that we are still a developing economy, and we have not achieved as much as we should have achieved in the years of independence. Point number 2, excessive dependence on agriculture. After independence, after 1947, we are in 2020, but we should be surprised to know that people who are dependent on agriculture are about 60% in this country. When I say 60%, it is either directly or indirectly. So, dependence on agriculture is not bad, but when you are depending on agriculture, how much is agriculture contributing to GDP is also important. In terms of contribution to GDP, agriculture's contribution is coming down, but in terms of how many people are dependent on agriculture, the contribution is remaining same. Therefore, too much dependence on agriculture has become a very big problem. Now, for example, there is a family where the income of the family's head is 10,000 rupees. 5 years back, the income of the family head was 10,000 rupees. There were 3 members in the family. After 5 years, the number of people increased from 3 to 10, but the income of the family head remains 10,000. Therefore, when too many number of people are dependent on that particular 10,000 rupees, the burden on the family head becomes high. So, too much of dependence is not bad, but how much are you able to contribute, how much income are you able to generate is important. So, in terms of income, in terms of GDP, agriculture's contribution is coming down. But in terms of dependence, we are more or less there, as I told you, 60%. Point number 3, high rate of population growth. India is a country which is, as you people know, is the second largest populated country in the world. So population sometimes is an advantage, but it is a disadvantage also, because one of the economists said high population should not be high number of people to eat, but it should be high number of hands to work. So if the number of hands are more, development is possible. But if it is high population and population is there to sit and eat, then high rate of population growth is definitely a very big problem. Point number 4, unemployment and underemployment. Now, as I told you, when the level of skill is less, then employment opportunities will be less. Therefore, India, one of the biggest problem in India is, with the population increasing day by day, the employment opportunities are not increasing at the same rate. Point number 5, inequality in the distribution of wealth. Another important characteristic of Indian economy is the rich have become richer, but the poor have still remained poor. Therefore, the gap between the rich and the poor is continuously increasing, and many number of schemes introduced by the government is not able to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor. Therefore, inequality in the distribution of wealth is a very big problem. Point number 6, low level of technology. Now, when you talk about technology, technology has its own advantages and disadvantages. But when you use better technology, people will get better standard of living. Producer will be able to produce a good quality product at a lesser price. Thereby, the buyer will be able to get a product at a lesser price, and his standard of living will improve. Therefore, high level of technology is something that is the need of any economy, but Indian economy, the level of technology is low. Point number 7, lack of infrastructure. Any economy, if it wants to grow, should have enough infrastructure available so that the economy will grow faster. When you talk about infrastructure, whether it is roads, whether it is airports, whether it is railways, whether it is electricity, all these things are part of infrastructure. And when everything is provided properly, industries will come up, industries coming up, employment will come up. Employment coming up, income will increase, GDP will increase, and the country will grow faster. But no infrastructure or lack of infrastructure is definitely a big problem, and Indian economy has that problem of infrastructure. And the last most important point is poor quality of human capital. Now, human beings are considered capital because you need to invest money in those people to train them so that they can work better. Therefore, a laborer without training, without proper guidance, if he is able to produce 10 units per hour, proper training, proper guidance, proper investment in that particular laborer will produce 100 units per minute. Thereby, quality of human capital is important. Time invested is same, the resources are same, but if you are producing less, that means you are wasting your resources. So quality of human capital, a good education system, good training system, good skill development system is something that we need. But unfortunately, the quality of human capital in India is comparatively poor when you compare it with developed countries. Therefore, these are 8 points which are telling us what Indian economy actually is. You can take it as characteristics of Indian economy, or you can also understand that these are the points which a government should look into so that from a developing stage we reach the developed stage. So this first unit, first class, we have discussed about the introduction, the overview of Indian economy and the characteristics of Indian economy. Thank you for your patient listening. Thank you.